Hey there, everybody. Let's get ready to go for another ride. Uh, Going to do another video here on this obscure world map, the Notum Mundo map. And it's all there. It's the same as all the other azimuthal equidistant maps. We've been exploring the gates and what goes on here in these gates. The island archipelagos in the gates, the inhabitants, and the mix of people. So let's get cracking. And look at the weird names of everything. We know that they're not representative of anything that we're used to in this part of the world. And again, you can stop and read that there if you want. Spanish settlers, collapse of the Spanish Empire, stories like that we heard of tyranny in the world and people leaving. So anyway, yeah, there's this island archipelago. No, actually, these are not the island archipelagos. These are the large continents that are surrounded by island archipelagos. The big continents that you see outside of the so-called ice wall. And I'm going to stick on this here for a minute or two. I have a friend in Ireland. He's a clan chief. We speak every day. And today we had a chat for an hour or so, and I want to get him on the show. I'm on this system now called Duo, where we can have an interview and record it, and I'm going to put him up on my channel, okay? Now, the chief is kind of the spitting image of this guy here. Chief, your great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather came from a continent called Aten, and they came up and they colonized Ireland. And I'll tell you something else, right? Your great-great-granddad had to live down there in this place with all these fucking Antifa people, yeah? And Extinction Rebellion mob and fucking MGBGT V8 people. And we've spoken many times over the years about off-world breeding programs where we're given the impression, the mindset, that somewhere way up there in outer space and some big spacecraft flying halfway around the moon and up to Mars and back is doing these space programs off-world. Off-world, where is off-world? We know now where off-world is. So what kind of breeding programs have you got going on out there? I mean, have you been mixing fucking goblins and leprechauns and dropping them off in fucking LA and Portland? Hobo goblins. Hobo goblins, gnomes, leprechauns, RC brownies, dwarves, the duendes of Aten, semi-duendes. What's a semi-duende? Now, there has been so much shit going around about we are the results of genetic experiments by a more intelligent, higher being. Like, fuck are we? Yeah? These people couldn't mix fucking cement, never mind mix DNA. But what they can do is you can grab a hobo goblin and a leprechaun and mix that fucking DNA and suddenly drop them off. Oh, more. Hold on a second. Now, we're on a world right now where we can see the ancient structures of the world. All these star forts, star cities, all over the world, in the middle of the jungle, in the middle of the desert, off the coast, under the water, all over the land, all over the coastline, in the middle of the country, along the rivers, here, there, and everywhere. Same tech, same architecture. Some of them are identical to the millimeter from fucking north of Japan to the southern tip of South America. So I'm talking about a world where there's one culture, one language, One society capable, maybe that language was Arabic. Maybe it was the language before Arabic. Arabic was all over the world. Before that, Sanskrit was all over the world. But then along came these Bible bashers, and they're telling us that, thousands of years ago we had this, we were building a tower to the heavens to go and look for God, the Tower of Babel. God came down, waved his hand. Suddenly everybody started speaking a different language, just like that. Nobody could communicate with each other. The world stopped moving. Tower of Babel. Babel is Babel, okay? Whoops. Babel is Babel. So, do hobogoblins speak a different language than dwarves? And gnomes speak different to goblins? And leprechauns with their Pidgin Irish teaching RC brownies? Yeah. There's elsewhere, I'm looking at people trying to teach fucking French to the blemmies. Hold on a minute now. So, suddenly, after this magnificent world that was obviously people of a singular mindset, and here we come after the 1850s, 1800s, 1870s, and we've got hundreds of different specimens of the human, if you want to call it species, littering our world with hundreds, if not thousands, of languages and dialects. Where did they all come from? They're telling us the truth in what they did, but they shove the story into some Old Testament from 9,000 years ago and let you fucking live with that. Whereas they pulled this stunt off 200 years ago. Introduced Babel into the world and confusion so that we could have absolutely no way of living comfortably with one another. Anyway, let me roll on here. So anyway, yeah, along these great continents, this must be the same one, Aten. There's a guy here carrying a lizard over his head. UK, Blue Water League and allies, gnomish dwarves. Ardal Barida, a former French colony. Senegalese labourers with British support. Heinrichsland. Goblin fishermen. So yeah, these larger islands, these larger continents have been split up into little regions. Yeah, and here's another little part of it here. Aina Pahu Kingdom, a splinter state of the Taku Tariki, built over old goblin burial sites. If you want to get on somebody's fucking nerves, that's how you do it, you know? So, all these countries on our side, they have this place split up amongst themselves and they're all living with one another. Another one there, Taku Tariki Republic, Western Wenua Teitei Confederation. Something there belonging to samurai Japanese. It'll probably find something of that in a minute. Again, you can stop and have a read if you want. Yeah, that's the Japanese one down there. And then you have Hawaii up here and a Takari noblewoman over here. This talks about British and Russians all getting along together fine with their nice little Antarctic Treaty. I'm going to stop off in a few minutes and just read a couple of the interesting ones, but these you can read yourself. Korea, UK, Takutariki, and all of that. All getting along fine. I wonder, is that North Korea or South Korea? And then in between the Takiri Republic and the KKE, a heavily militarized hobo-goblin state, you've got fucking Vietnamese workers. And then you've got goblin and hobo-goblin bands proudly interior. As I say, I wouldn't get in a boat and start heading down that way, you know, the pirates everywhere. There's no way through. And we haven't got no tech that they tell us about that we can fly over these assholes. Whoops. Yeah, just up here, just up on the offhand captainship of Da Fiulang. Pirates. You can read it there. You like British, Koreans, Takiris, Vietnamese. A lot going on. Martin Liedtke, Hippie Shake 29, Brian Evans, and all you friends in Wales. New Kingsburg, formerly a Prussian breakaway, Germans now outnumbered by Welshmen. Oh, by oh. And here's a funny place. E-O-E-E-K-K-A-K-K-A. What? Where did you say you were from? E-O-E-K-K-A-K-K-A. This is grunt language. Yeah? Grunt language, like the priest on Father Ted. You remember him? Him, yeah? This is fucking where grunt language comes from. Alpstad must be like an alpine type of village. I've seen things like that from down there around Antarctica, alpine looking places. This land has been depopulated by plague when the Prussians settled it. Dream invading ghosts are a big issue, but the lands are fertile, so it's okay. Now, I'm going to read this out to you. A neo-pagan, that's Kamat and successor states, a neo-pagan cult gained popularity in Egypt after the year of the Black Moon. Now, this Black Moon apparently comes from Magellan's writings, where there was a year where he had no moon. So he went too far and came back after a year. So they had no moon for a whole year for navigating or whatever. Anyway, facing persecution, many took to the seas as pirates as they got wiped out back home. In the 17th century, one specific pirate fleet containing the last practitioners of the cult, as it turned out, found themselves south of Antarctica after a series of very bad decisions. Settling in Aten, they established a vast empire of goblins and hobo-goblins that worshipped the old Egyptian gods in a manner similar to Akhenaten. It is in fact thanks to them that the supercontinent is called Aten. Hoo-hoo. I'm going to read this one to you as well. Haven of the Confessors. A rogue group of Anabaptists that fled to a faraway land in order to escape the decadent hedonism of Europe, now teaching local brownies how to live in a humble, godly manner. I mean, fucking Jehovah's Witnesses? Yeah, I'm going to read this one out to you as well. The Foizang Sea Empire. As they fled Aten following the defeat of the Empire of the White Stars, a few Cantonese pirate ships went rogue and conquered the seafaring goblin states of the Kaipuke archipelago. The result is a racially stratified society with Cantonese leadership at the top, followed by mixed hobo-goblins who made up the most of the invading force, and native goblins at the bottom. This is how the Chinese run their little states in Africa. Yeah, more strange mixes. You've got Burmese with, theoretically a Burmese and by extension Golok colony. In reality, the venture of an eccentric Austrian industrialist. Yeah, there's a new Klaus Schwabenland down there as well, Spanish sugarcane plantations, and another place, that's Cania, Grand Retaguardia. Yeah. League of the Northern Blue. Once a gnomish city, now a goblin-ruled den of scum and villainy. Capuzotto, it's like fucking Venice in there. At this point, Venetians are like cockroaches, but with cannons. The fucking Phoenicians come down here, set up some fucking banks, start meddling money to hobo-goblins, and then fucking come in and take them. Burmese. And the fucking French sitting out here. Yeah. France are well stuck in. Port Bretagne, Terre de Tumulus, Port Nouvelle. Something to do with fucking Catholics. I can't read here at the end. Yeah. Here's an interesting one for you to stop and have a read at. French law. Imagine bringing French law down there. Remember fucking Papillon? And getting on well with the gnomes, because the gnomes are better lawyers than they are, so they use them to get them out of shit. Yeah, I might as well read it. Their struggle for independence took place only in the room of law, French law. They did lose, but the French were impressed with how well they grasped their legal code, and the gnomish lawyers of Côte Rouge are now wanted across Athens by those operating under the laws of new overlords. In return for the lack of violence during the takeover and because of their skill in making an argument, the gnomes here are treated relatively well by the French. Well, they don't treat the fucking gnomes around here very well around here, fuckers. Get ready. Cruz and Carija. Catholic gnomes. At least they think they are. Synchronism with many different faiths led to interesting results. You know what we got down here? Saint Muhammad. You fucking Adam and Eve that. Gnomes that accept a very syncretic haram version of Ibadi Islam. So Ibadi Islams are hanging out with Catholics and they share the same saint. And this is all just the old fucking divide and conquer, you know? The Blue Water League, gnomes and dwarvish states taken over by the British, everybody getting together to push invaders out, wealthy, gnomish naval state getting ruined by the French, Senegalese labourers, and a gentlemanly gnome. Yeah. And another place here, Uzak Liman, former Persian colony that broke free due to neglect from the motherland after money ran out, mostly Azeri but ruled by Persians, living beside Spanish in a Colorado, Malagas type place, you know, messing about with dwarf women. Yeah, they've enslaved these leprechauns. So they call her a Colorado woman, a good example between human and leprechaun. It says here, the line between human and leprechaun has grown increasingly blurred here. I don't know, there is something about her, but fucking I was never into redheads, man. So I don't really know what's going on around here. Spain needs reinforcements because they're being ravaged by fucking leprechauns. But New Dublin and New Belfast, part of the ADAIC UK alliance. Not many pots of gold were found, but there were just enough to justify the genocide. Ooh. So they went down there, found gold, fucking killed everybody down there. Yeah. Same everywhere. Yeah, I'm going to wrap it up shortly. Former leprechaun kingdom subjugated by the ADAIC, its king replaced with an Indonesia-born Dutch bureaucrat. Its native population is now used as a pool of slave, cheap labour for many colonies. Huh? Yeah, there was a bit more to that. Don't know what that means. Human demographics are exactly what you'd expect. Yeah? What you'd expect is like a load of Dublin and Belfast people to go down there with the UK people to perform a genocide. Not too sure. So this is as far as I'm going to take this, people, you know? You know that you're liable to bump into any one of these people in any fucking city now that you care to visit, okay? So watch your back. Yeah, there are many, many more parts to these maps. The channel that you will find them on is called, I should have said this on the last video, Italian P&C. And apparently he's been putting out some very good maps. He was actually praised the other day by Voynich. Voynich was on the other day with Richie from 007 on a live chat. And Voynich was there, and Voynich said, you got to check out this channel, Italian P&C. And I remember that's where I got this from. So, capital P and then the and symbol and C. And you can find more out about it from there. I'm going to leave it here. I could keep going and put it to a part 3, part 4, part 5, part 6. But you know this is a fucking joke map, okay? This is a joke. But it's not a joke. This is... They've been telling us about things that they've been doing. And we've all found it fucking very hard to believe, right? It's impossible to believe the shit that they've been saying that they're doing. Outer space, fucking alien, genetic fucking programs, this, that, the other. But on the ground, on this earth, in the oceans, thousands of different types of people, thousands of different types of languages. That's where they got the people to reset this place and spread out their languages. So, scientifically possible. Whereas their version of balls flying through the sky and people coming here from millions of fucking miles away to crash, scientifically impossible. So, get yourself a pair of those sunglasses that your man had in that movie, They Live. And don't fucking take them off. Talk to you all soon.